Okay. Yes. Yes. A very good evening to you all, Edo people and Nigerians across the world. Wherever we are here, joining us from. I want to say thank you very much for joining us. This a conference broadcast in that we have a number of persons right in the house that are going to be helping us do justice to the topic of today. I want to quickly encourage us, if you are joining us, wherever you're joining us, please share this broadcast. Let's get the attention of the world to this particular broadcast. It's important because right now, they say a common problem called for common concerns. Right now, one thing we cannot shy away from is that Nigeria, as Nigerians, we have a common problem. And that common problem is economic, the common problem is security, the common problem is social, and the common problem is Nigeria. And to that extent, it's essential that we all join hands together to find a way around it, to resolve the crisis that we have in Nigeria, the looming crisis. Many people have come to argue and believe that major part of the issues we have, particularly with the issue of insecurity and presently economic issues, they are problems orchestrated, deliberately and directly by some persons in government. And of course, events have played to that. It is on that note, we have brought in some very erudite personalities to help us do justice to this particular topic. And of course, we hope that at some point, this discourse will culminate into a point where we should hold even a more, elaborate, conference where we expect, they say charity begins at home. We expect that Edo people will truly, come together relentlessly to find a way forward. Because at the end of the day, as some people will say, it's a matter of on your own. And that is what we have largely seen with what is developing in Nigeria. We don't know where these things are going, but a friend of mine aptly put it earlier and said that Nigeria is right now a pyramid standing on its head. It can roll over to any direction. But the worst aspect of it is that wherever it grows to, of course, it's going to be some peril. It's dangerous. It's going to, destroy. And so, on that note, my people, without much ado, let me quickly bring the team on board. I have, High Chief Musa Ahmedu, a one-time presidential aspirant, a very, noble personality, one who is very much rooted in the politics of Edo State and Nigeria, and one who knows Nigeria inside out. Hi, Chief Musa Ahmedu, would you say hello to the people at this time, sir?
Very much. It's a privilege being on your show, Comrade. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. We equally have, of course, as part of the team to help us do justice to this topic today, we are calling Comrade. It's actually a comrade, one who has left a very strong print in the history of University of Benin as an alumnus. He's one who is doing very well, very erudite personality, and that's Victor Idiagmoya Esquire. Idiagmoya, the people want to hear your voice at this time, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Comrade. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me.
And of course, another very fine personality we have in the house with us is one who, when you mention entertainment in Edo State, definitely you cannot mention 5 names and not remember him. A humble personality, a gentle giant, but his contribution towards development in Edo State, particularly by way of entertainment, is massive. He's an actor, an entertainer, an event planner. Is everything you want to see in a responsible man. I have, with all pleasure, Best Ogumu Senior right in the house as well. Best Ogumu.
Thank you very much, my people.
Yes, thank you so much, Best Ogumu. Yes, I equally have right in the house another very fine personality. He's one of the musketeers of the Comrade and Friends. And of course, this is Comrade and Friends. It's one of the what's it called, integral part of the Comrade and Friends, a regular face, a regular anchor person. Of course, you must know him. His name is Pharmacist Austin Iremira. But for the sake of this program, I call him Comrade Pharmacist Austin Iremira. Comrade Iremira.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lanty. Thank you to our viewers and for the very magnificent panelists that we have today. Just to remind our viewers that this is our Sunday tonic, comrade and friends. You are welcome as ever. Join us, enjoy it wherever you are. I say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
Thank you very much. Of course, my name is Comrade Mousa Oriaki. I want to quickly apologize that we are a few minutes behind schedule. However, we're going to do our best to ensure that we treat, the matter, the way it ought to be. Share the broadcast as much as we possibly could. Be part of this process. At some point, we're going to be opening the lines. We'd like people to call in, make their contributions, because at the end of the day, what affects the eyes equally affects the nose. That is where we are right now. Just to open the framework. Chief Musa Amedu, I'm going to start with you, sir. Very recently, we got the news that the NNPC wrote to the federal government of Nigeria stating that the NNPC can no longer make, remittances to the federal government of Nigeria, to FAC, based on the fact that they are spending so much on, what's it called, subsidizing PMS and all of that. They gave excuses and all that. To that extent, they expect that in the next 3 months, money will not be going to the federal government. Now, the implication of this is that we expect, by implication, it says expected that, the federation can no longer, remit allocation to the states. And if that happens, what that means is that many states, if not all of them, will not be able to pay salaries. And this, if it happens in the first, second, and third month, following this particular month we are in right now, is going to spell some economic doom to Nigeria. And beyond that, we do not know. We cannot assess the colossal damage that will do. Chief Musa Amedu, how do you appraise this situation in view of the fact that we are already reeling seriously from serious security challenges?
I think the statement from the NNPC is part of the conclusion you are seeing in Nigeria. Number one, NNPC don't have the legal right to make such a pronouncement. If they do, then the National Assembly should quickly put an emergency committee together, because it's a reasonable statement for a start that an agency in the federal structure is threatening the federal government that they are going to withhold funds, unless, of course, they are having the backing of the ruling administration. They don't have the right to make that statement. It's an incomplete statement, because their duty is to pump that money straight to federal accounts. They don't even have the choice to derogate from doing that. They can't even contemplate. You see, when the governor said the last time that they should put the federal economic structure in place, people start saying different things. Oh, Obaseki has started again. Obaseki is saying this. Where are we now? The 60 billion issue have been vindicated. I have to refer to Obaseki because he was the one that first brought to our notice that the federal economy is in bad shape. Their finances are not in order. And if care is not taken, there will be no money to be shared at all. Back to NNPC. The question I would have loved to ask them is, what is the quantity, what the quantum of oil we have in Nigeria? Then we start talking about who to remit what. But who to remit what is clear. It's clear that NNPC must remit money. But they have chosen to play the role of politicians. Then the National Assembly should make a statement so that we can have a firm view of what to expect. But now it's all threat and darkness, doom everywhere. It has never happened like this before. And I don't know what is happening at the center, because I'm happy I'm from Edo State. I'm happy we are doing well. But the bigger picture is that we are not getting anywhere. Today, we don't know the quantity of oil. We don't know the true cost. We don't know what is happening. If an NPC threatened, then tomorrow, you will also have the motor park people threatening that they will not be carrying passengers again. But I want to believe it's not true, a statement that will be completed in question of time. For two reasons. Number one, the NNPC have no statutory power to derogate from what they are supposed to do. Number two, the federal government must speak up on this issue, because it is an act of treason to tell us that in a few months' time we'll be starving. That's a declaration of war. If you look at the statement from any angle, you can't wake up and say, oh, you know what, in 3 months' time, we're not going to be giving you maintenance money or whatever you call it. You are going to starve. We are not giving federal government. Have they been mandated to become a spokesman of the Federal Ministry of Finance? I rest my case at this point.
Thank you very much, sir. Victor Diamoya,
Yeah.
I've been listening to the submission of High Chief Musa Amendu. What will you align with?
I think the issue is more than NNPC grating from their responsibility, because first and foremost, NNPC is a government parastatals, okay, and their duty is to make proceeds from oil and gas and remit same to the federal government. What they normally do is that I think they remit between 120 billion monthly. That's what they do to federal government. Like Chief Musa said, we are not sure of how much they make from sales and things like that, but they have a particular money that they remit to the federal government. But what has happened now is that they are saying we are unable to do that because we have been bearing the cost of subsidy, okay? We have been paying for subsidy, but we will not be able, not that they have the money, not that they are holding on to the money. You look at the formation and the administration of the government that is being run in Nigeria, you see that there is a problem somewhere. First and foremost, right, states ought to be autonomous. They need to generate their own money. You can't have states that are unable to pay salary without going to the center or the federal. That there's a defect in the structure if you look at it from that perspective. That's the first point. The second point is that what is NNPC doing? Okay, now you are subsidizing petrol for how long? And we don't have refineries that are working in Nigeria. Okay, you take crude, you take it out, you go and sell it, you bring it back and sell it at an exorbitant price, and you say you are subsidizing it. So by the end of the day, you are taking employment away from us and bringing refined product and selling it back to us at a very exorbitant price. So there's also a problem in that regard. So like Chief Musa said, the National Assembly, what are they going to do? The cost of running government itself is part of the problem. So the money that the NNPC is saying we will bring is the money that the states are going to share. Like the governor of Edo State said, they are printing money. I know the CBN has a responsibility to print money, but there's a fiscal policy. You look at you can't just go and say, okay, I want you to print 500 billion and you just print it out. You need to look at your GDP. You need to look at how much you are making in trade and how much is coming in, and you have your balance of payment. So by the end of the day, the core problem here is that we are living in denial. The first denial is that why should there be subsidy? Why subsidize it? If you want to put petrol at a price, put it at a price. Let the hardship be on the people. By the time you shift the hardship to the people will realize that, oh, this might not be the right government for us. We are not feeling the pain. Then let us vote somebody else. By the time you are coming to Nigerians to say, I want to run for an election, they will ask you, what are you going to do? What is your government going to do? So don't say we are subsidizing it. Nigeria is one of the countries that have a huge oil reserve, and we are still saying we are subsidizing oil, or we are subsidizing PMS. So by the end of the day, you take this out from Nigeria, take it to factories that have been built by Nigerians in another country, and bring them back and sell it to us. But in the process of doing that, you take a chunk out of the system. Okay, you take a chunk out of the system and you say you are subsidizing it. So you look at it clearly. It's a case of trying to be a pseudo authority or a dictator. But NNPC has no right whatsoever. So if they have a particular amount they are supposed to remit, they should remit same to the government. If they are unable to remit it, then there's no need for that parastatals to be existing in the first place. So they should remit the money. Then if there's any money from the federation account or from the government that should be given to them for the payment of the subsidy or whatever they are doing, then that can come out from the federation account. But they have an obligation to meet that task of remitting that sum on a monthly basis.
Thank you very much. I want to quickly, before I come to Best, let me quickly go to Austin Iremiran. Of course, I see Patience Irabor right online with us. Pat Ahmed, Oru Ebi, thank you very much. Rosemary Excel Tokumbo, thank you very much. You know, some of these guys are light angels. We thank you. Arobonosen Kokoni, you know, he says something here, and I think it's relevant. He said it is a sponsored information to tense up the country so that when they increase pump price, Nigerians will accept their proposed rates. Austin Iramira, what is your take on that? Sponsored information, okay, for them to increase pump price and Nigerians will accept the rates. How do you assess that? Austin, unmute yourself, sir.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lamptey. I actually read that statement as soon as our viewer put it in, and I was going to start from there. I must say that the presence of the two legal minds today, I Chief Musa Ahmedu and Victor Idiagboya, sort of cleared the air, because I was wondering, remember I spoke with you before, just to see if this statement was true, and it is not clear that legally the NNPC doesn't have the right, and I think for our viewers, that will give them some ray of hope and douse tension. Obviously, I support and I'm in tandem with the statement made by one of our viewers. I think ultimately that's where the federal government want to go. Like Victor pointed out, there is cacophony of bad processes and leadership that have led to where we are. Hence, NNPC is not threatening. And I think the ultimate one is for them at the end of the day to now see it as a reason to increase pump price and let the suffering Nigerians continue to suffer, because many of them cannot raise their head above water to see the bigger picture. There are so many things that are beclouding us at the moment, and this government and subsequent government before now, especially this government, are continuing to play a very pseudo approach, not telling Nigerians the truth. Just before we came to the program, Lamptey, let me inform you and shock our viewers. It was said that exploration of natural chemicals started in Nigeria in 1908, shortly after the First World War, not with oil but with bitumen, and we are almost 1908 to now. It's a long time, and we are still where we are in the development of our processes. It is shocking. It's not surprising anymore because of the APC-led government, but I just hope and pray that this will not come to light and the government should wake up and rise up to their responsibility. We don't want any possible increase in fuel in the near future, because Nigerians have suffered too much.
Thank you very much. Best Ogumu, let me come to you, sir. Looking at this, let us assume that NNPC is not threatening. Let us assume that NNPC actually don't have money to remit to states. What do you think is going to be the outcome of this if states can no longer pay salaries, for instance? Neither can they have money to equally carry on with infrastructural development and stuff like that. What is your take looking at this, you know, coming?
First, let me thank my people that have spoken earlier. The bulk of the whole thing, comrade, is that we are living in a state of denial. I don't know how to explain it. The state of the nation is actually like it's actually in comatose, like a vegetable. We all know all this. The fact is, I believe first of all that statement was sponsored by the federal government for NNPC to say so. Remember, we have always had these problems of increase in pump price, and they will say, no, we didn't increase it. We are not aware of that statement from the NNPC. So there have been this hide and seek game they've been playing. That aside. Secondly, we should do a rethink right now, because what we're actually talking about now will come into effect very soon. Some states will have a lot of problems in paying salaries. Obaseki has given us a hint. And I was telling somebody one day that, look, forget that you do not like Obaseki. Check the information. And the person was telling me, no, it's a lie. This. I said, look, let's check the information if it's correct. And you know, with this government that we have today, they have the way of denying things, and they said, no, They never did that. But at the end of the day, I saw a guy who brought out a 1,000 naira note that was printed in 2021. And they were denied that they didn't print any money. Until the CBN governor now said, well, the federal government borrowed the money from them. This is a government that has borrowed a lot of money from the World Bank, from the IMF, from China, has even said he was going to take money, he was going to, borrow money from on dividends that have not been claimed, and other things. So, Lamte, this matter that we are talking about right now, I don't know, I may be a prophet of doom. It will come into place very soon. There will be no money. States are going to be starved. That is what they are planning. They know what they are doing. They know exactly what they are doing. I think the states should be preparing for things like this right now. And Nigerians should prepare for more wahala. This government has a way, in fact, they want to squeeze the people so nobody will talk. We would no longer have a voice to do anything. Actually, we have always been saying that a hungry man is an angry man, but does it really work in that country? Nobody will say anything. Will say, no, I look for my daily bread, so why should I go out there and start talking? So these states now, the states should start thinking of alternatives. Or the federal government, if they can no longer fund these states, do their own, give allocations to these states. Let's practice real federalism. Real federalism. Each state on your own. Do whatever you want to do to survive your state. And at the end of the day, maybe there's a percentage you remit to the federal coffers. That will be all. But I want to say again, the states must start preparing for any alternative right now of how to fund their states. Workers very soon are not going to receive their salaries because this government does not even know what to do. I am telling you, they are so confused. They don't know what to do right now. There are a lot of clueless human beings in this federal government that we have today. So I want to, emphasize on this, that the states must start, preparing for alternatives. Otherwise, they are going to be caught on our ways.
Okay, Victor, I know you are itching to say something. But just before you come in, I want to ask Chief Amedu this. Some people have argued, rightly or wrongly, we cannot say that what is happening right now in Nigeria is a conspiracy, particularly when you look at it from the security perspective, with the federal government being diabolically quiet about the state of insecurity in Nigeria. With certain human beings, certain characters aligning as sympathizers, sympathizers with terrorists and terrorism in Nigeria. The likes of Issa Patani, who is a minister under this government, is one who's a terrorist sympathizer. We have people like Sheikh Gumi, an Islamic cleric, one who has been out and about, negotiating with terrorists on behalf of the Nigerian government, coming out recently to say that Nigeria needs, the likes of Issa Patani in government of Nigeria, and that Nigeria should not call for the resignation of Issa Patani. Otherwise, Nigeria will be unsettled. In the light of all of this, and of course, the argument made by Best Ogumu that the thing we consider as threat from NNPC may actually be a grand plan for the federal government to starve the states of funds. Haji Musa Amedu, if really this becomes a reality, particularly given the fact that the president of Nigeria is the one solely and directly in charge of NNPC. He's been the minister of NNPC since he came on board. The minister of petroleum since he came on board. Nobody has taken that office from him. If this information is true, and the states don't get paid allocations, what do you think will happen? Haji Musa Amedu.
We'll be in a state of paralysis for a start, and the civil war they've all been clamoring for will become a child's play. But back to that statement, if it was a sponsored one, it would have been an ideal assumption if it was a sponsored one. But it doesn't look sponsored because you've just said it now that a minister, a serving minister, is glorifying, promoting insecurity by making inciting statements. Then you need to find out whether it is the CPC of Buhari party then that is running Nigeria, or it's a collabo between CPC and Tinubu APC that is actually running Nigeria. The problem, I think, is the problem that we cannot understand. I have never seen a country like Nigeria where the followers are so educated, the leaders are glorifying ignorance. How do you explain a country as big as Nigeria that has a president purporting to be running a political system is unable to differentiate comedy from drama? I don't know of it. It's depressing for a start. Nigeria have no cost to borrow money, in my own opinion. I'm not an economist, but if you have lived in civilized societies, you will see that they promote small businesses. They engage everybody to play a role. In Nigeria, there's an exclusion clause in their political arrangement where any intelligent person can play a role. The Patani you are referring to, they are glorifying him because he's speaking their mind. If he was not speaking their mind, how can he remain in that position after 24 hours? How do you explain that an agency in Nigeria is threatening the federal government to shut down a system and nobody is saying anything? Everybody's saying it's fine. But I thank God this is not happening in Edo State. It is not a good omen by any standard. It has not. The NNPC owes a duty of care, knowing that they deal with petroleum that brings in the real money and is the only mainstay economy. They ought not to have dabbled into speculative statement or saying, oh, maybe it's a sponsored statement. Everything in Nigeria looks sponsored now because the terrorists are winning. They have superior arms. They have effective communication strategy in place. They make Lai Mohammed to become Lai Mohammed. Every day they do it. How can they kill a Nigerian soldier? Nobody is saying anything. But if that soldier was your son, how do you react? It is a frightening statement that the government is sleeping comfortably. The other day, if you saw what happened in London, 2 factions of Nigerians were protesting over the presence of Buhari in the UK. It wasn't supposed to happen. We at our age today, we are saying we want to restore Edo back to the glory it was before because we witnessed it, where everything was super. You go to school, they teach you the language. If not for a Bedo one, some of us would have not been hearing Benin today again. That's to tell you the superior education we had. But back to the federal government, there is a problem. One man is in party A. Tomorrow he crosses over. Once he hears nothing is happening from party A, he goes to B. What of the new entrant coming into the system? The door is shut. Then you move on from there. It said petroleum as a product mainstay. Why has it not sort of like diversified? Put a plan in place to say, wait a minute. If things go wrong, this is what we are going to do. Coming back to the UK, you saw what they did during Brexit. If all things being equal, we'll fall back to Commonwealth. They are doing it already. If you look Nigeria now, BBC have a Hausa program. And very soon they will be having Igbo program. All those things are soft power play to bring the main product of the Commonwealth, the lower Commonwealth, that is the black Commonwealth countries, to surrender their own proprietary rights to their raw materials, so that you go back to the days of UAC and United Nigeria Company and the lot again. Now, Nigerians are party. They are members of this organization. Look at what Canada did. Canada is a member of the Commonwealth, but they don't see themselves as Commonwealth anymore. In this country, without their medical equipment, there's certain scan you cannot do. You pay them for it. You get result within 24 hours. Look at pharmaceuticals. What is happening? Okay, look at the bilateral agreement on Nigerian government table. Have they bothered to bring in our brightest people to come and read this thing and tell us where to go from here? The other day they were grumbling that, oh, Ghana is it Twitter or what they call it? Why should they go to Ghana? But they have forgotten that the man with the oil can fry stone because of full ownership right he's got on that product. But in Nigeria, I do not understand, honestly, what the people want. You see people serving God, they are playing the role of those in government. Those in government are playing the role of, you can't do us anything. What is happening? But look at Edo State, it's taking shape. If things were ratified on time, it would have not been difficult for the present administration to set up a government. But it became a problem for them because they need first to get the data to work on. And by the grace of God, people now understood that position, and very soon they will set up a government. But today in Edo State, we now know that independent light, apart from the BDC, can work. We also now know in Edo State that you can quell insecurity to some extent. We also now know that you can restore anything that is not good to good. So if federal government was also trying to be inward-looking, the story would have been different. But what you are saying here is they've made up their mind, there is no need. 2023 will soon be a thing of the past. What is going to happen before 2023? Why is the sale of Nigerian oil always tied up in secrecy? We don't know who is buying the oil. We don't know what China is doing. We don't know. Everything is just secret. Why? The secretiveness is fueling the fake news market. So if I thought it was a sponsored message that, okay, you are not going to remit money, they've read the duty of care already. Then what of the president? Is he putting eardrop in his ear? I don't know. So please let me stop at this point so that I don't offend you. Thank you.
You can never offend us, sir. I am very sure we are on the same page on this matter.
It's very distressing. You look at it, look at it this way, what is happening. We don't know the military part our country have gone into. We don't know whether we have any military part with any country. But look at the way China, everywhere you go is China. Even in Benin, if you want to buy bread, you have to go to one more. And I said to the man, what is one more? Wait, by baking or river. I said, what do you mean? I was distressed because Nusakai is the man we know. When you want to buy bread, you go to Nusakai. What did the government do to support his bread? To say, Nusakai, you cannot fail. Small business, bank, give them soft loan. That is what we need to do. We need to create our own small economy that will grow over time. You know, there is a mute position the government have boxed themselves into, and I would say they should unmute and leave Obaseki alone and tell us what is happening in Nigeria. Because right now we don't know. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Victor Ajamoya, Chief Ahmedu did ask a question, and I think it's very salient. He said, we do not know whether it is Buhari's CPC that is ruling us or whether it is still the CPC and the APC that is ruling Nigeria. Given all of this and all he has said, Victor Ajamoya, in addition to what you wanted to say, take the baton, sir, go ahead. Okay,
I would say I feel the pain of every Nigerian, you know, both those who are in diaspora and those who are back in Nigeria, because those who are in diaspora, there are a lot of them that ought not to be there and would have returned back home, but because of the situation in Nigeria, they are a bit stuck, okay? Then those who are there have no option of getting out of the system.
Sorry, bros, Idamo Esquire, for interjecting. Please, if you know you are watching from your device, please, can you just reduce or kill the audio, you know, so that it does not interfere with the broadcast? Whoever is having another device to watch this program on maybe Facebook or YouTube. Victor, please continue, sir. Sorry to...
Okay, I was trying to make the point between the dilemma of those who are in diaspora and those who are at home. And I say I feel the pains of all Nigeria, myself included. Okay? So those who are in diaspora, there are a lot of them who would have gone back and make a difference in what is going on, but they are stuck here. Okay? And those who are there, maybe they have tried to make an impact or a difference and they are unable to do it and they can't get out of the system, so they are stuck there. But the bottom line is this: we cannot continue to read the book of Lamentation or continue to pray to God to help us, to say with God on our side, and that era has passed. Okay, the countries that don't know God, the level of development, the country that don't take God the way we take it, like Japan, for example, you go and see the level of development and stride that is going on there. So the problem, what I wanted to say in the first place before I went to what High Chief has said, is that first and foremost, whether it's a sponsor plan or not, right? The pain is going to go back to Nigerians. Okay, what is the minimum wage? Okay, what's the minimum wage? How many people are in gainful employment? Okay, how many people can their pay take home? Even if you increase the fuel price from 124 to 184 or something like that, it is still going to go on the masses. Yes, did you transfer it to the masses? And most of these small and medium, what's it called, micro, small and medium enterprises, they run on generator. We don't even have light. We don't even have electricity for them to power their little store or whatever they are doing. Some that have a little makeshift shop. They don't have those ones. So they need petrol to be able to do that. So by the end of the day, yes, even if you are taking it and you say it's a government or it's a sponsor or something, it's just the truth of the matter is that this government, by saying this government, CPC, the unholy marriage between CPC and AAC that became APC combined, yes, this government has failed Nigerians. Let us take a standpoint. Okay, that is the first position, because let us not be sugarcoating things. They have failed Nigerians in the sense that they've made promises in 2014. Vividly, they made lots of promises and they have not fulfilled one. One of the promises that they have made has not been fulfilled. They used 4 years to play the blame game, blame Jonathan, fighting corruption. We are doing this, we are doing that. You fight corruption. Nigerians are interested in their stomach infrastructure. What goes into their stomach? You are fighting corruption. You say you are bringing money, and people around the government itself, they are corrupt. With all due respect, they are corrupt. The federal government agency is doing selective prosecution. There are a lot of people who are not supposed to be walking out free on the street of Nigeria today, except for some reason. So if government say, okay, I want to go after this man, they will go and bring his file out. That's not how it works, okay? The system itself needs to be overhauled. We have done a lot of talking. I've gone to a lot of symposiums, seminars. I've spoken on Nigerians. I've heard a lot of things about Nigeria, how we can move Nigeria to the next generation. Like what I Chief said, it's not that we don't have the brightest of brains in Nigeria. There are a lot of intelligent people in Nigeria, a lot of intelligent people. If you give them the mantle of leadership and allow them to be at the aim of affairs, yes, they can make Nigeria a great country. I'm telling you. So there is a hidden, a clandestine organization, a cabal that is holding the country. Very few Nigerians are privileged to be in that clandestine group that is holding the country. They are holding the country from advancing, from progressing. You can't tell me that people are not seeing the pains. They are not seeing what is happening in the system. They don't know that people are unable to eat. So a lot of Nigerians went on the street to protest, to say, we want good life. We want this. Look at police barrack in Ikoyi. It's dirty. It's rotten. Look at the one in Esigi. Look at all police barracks. But the police will still come and be the one that will fight you. When they want money, kickback, they will go to the masses to get this money. So it's a system that has been built like that, and they think that it's going to continue like that. But I'll tell you the truth. It will get to a point when you push a goat to the wall, according to Larotimi, when the goat gets to the wall and there's no exit point, the goat cannot run away. The goat will turn back and face the person that is chasing the goat. Nigeria will get to that point. Life in Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned now, has no meaning. The government is not concerned. The government is not concerned because, first and foremost, you are coming to the United Kingdom to receive medical care, where we have a general hospital inside Aso Rock, and you are voting money to maintain that hospital on yearly basis from annual budget. And if the people are coming out of the street to say you shouldn't be here to come and benefit, to come and because they build these things in this country from taxpayers' money. Don't get it wrong. There's no country that don't borrow, but you borrow with reasons.
Exactly.
You understand? You borrow with reasons. I can go to a bank and say I need 500 million, but I cannot just go and take 500 million and not have anything to do with it. That is what Nigerian government is doing. You go and take money from China, you take loan from this. You cannot execute the project. You are not doing anything. By the end of the day, I even listened to one of the ministers, I don't want to mention his name. He said, if we don't borrow the money, how are we going to get money? That is shameful.
No, why can't you mention his name? What are you protecting? Nigerians want to know. This is why we're having this program.
I'm not protecting anybody, but it's true that but a lot of people know that. Rotimi Amici said that. If we don't,
so
he even said it in front of Select Committee of the Senate. He was saying it that if we don't borrow this money, how are we going to execute project? That's shameful. In fact, people like that ought not to be in government. I'll tell you the truth. So you don't see people resign. There's no integrity. People, the president himself is in a web of corruption, and they are talking about his integrity. So when you put one hand in oil, it's going to rub the others. So his integrity is questionable as far as I'm concerned. And I'm entitled to my own opinion. His integrity is questionable because he has surrounded himself with a lot of people who have saw their hand one way or the other. So the way forward is what we should be looking at. I know a lot of people came out to say NSAS had a lot of requests attached to it. Nigerians made demands. Of those demands that were made by Nigerians, how many of them have been fulfilled from October to May? So we should start asking questions. It's question time. So it's not talking, because we know even a child that is born in Nigeria today, the baby cries at birth, but the child that is born in Nigeria today is crying is that, why did you born me here in this country?
Absolutely.
Why did you born me here? It's not that, it's not that I'm in a strange place. Why did you born me here? It's the cry of the baby born in Nigeria today. Absolutely. And it is very pathetic.
It is. Austin, please unmute yourself. And Austin, please reduce your other device. I want to ask Austin, given the state we are right now, how much of what is happening right now is a conspiracy from what you observe? Because somebody just put on Facebook now, and the person is saying that NNPC cannot issue such a declaration in isolation. They have done so under the authority of somebody. And the only person we can think of is the president of Nigeria, who is directly overseeing the NNPC. Since he came aboard, he did not give NNPC to anybody's management. NNPC is under the president's direction. And NNPC says we can no longer remit money to the federation account, which means, by implication, the federation can no longer remit money to the states. As a matter of fact, before you come on, Austin, let me share this clip by Dino Melaye, who equally expressed concern, expressed fear. I want to see if I still have that audio of that video of Dino Melaye. I should have it somewhere. I want to see. Okay, I think I have it here. Can we hear his audio?
It's low.
Yes, we can.
No, the boy, no.
Comrade Lampton.
Yes.
I think we can hear.
Oh, we can hear.
No.
Okay, I want to reshare the audio. I just want to reshare the warning of I want to share the warning of Dino Melaye, who equally expressed concern, trying to draw Nigerians' attention to what is being expected to a matter, of a very serious, economic, magnitude that we need to know. Oh, I don't know if this can we hear?
No.
Okay. Let's just go on. But I will find time to find a way around to share this. Dino Melaye did come out to warn, to let us know that the implication of what NNPC has said is that from another 1 month, 2 months, NNPC will no longer be able to pay salaries. I mean, we no longer be able to remit money, and states will no longer be able to pay salaries. And if that happens, that means Nigeria, it cannot be imagined what is going to happen to say that no state can pay salary and people are working as civil servants. Austin, come on.
Thank you so much, Comrade Lamptey. I think majority of our panelists would have seen that video. I've watched it many times. But just to answer your question squarely, you asked if this is conspiracy. I would say everything about this government has been conspiracy. And the simple answer to that is 100% conspiracy. There's a 100% conspiracy movement so far. I would also say that a government that acts on deceit, obviously you cannot separate conspiracy from that. This administration conspired with the AC and formed APC, and they deceive us on the ground of conspiracy. Even as educated as myself, I fell for the first innuendos and lies of the present administration. I know how much I campaigned vigorously, thinking that change will come. And indeed, we've seen the change. And the change is shredded in full conspiracy. And according to Victor, these cabals, they know what they are doing. If they mean well for our country, there are simple 1, 2, 3 steps that we can take to move forward. I was talking to you today of what Governor Fayemi said yesterday in a program, saying that, and he started putting the gauntlet before us simple Nigerians, and we need to take it. What did he say? If you don't like this government of APC, wait for the next election. You guys come up together and vote us out. That was what he said. And I think as a way of, because there are too many questions now, as a way of solution, it's unfortunate that we would have to wait for another 2 years. We cannot force this government out because they have the yam and they have the knife, and the powers that be are in bed with them. So let us not deceive ourselves. It's going to be slightly difficult, except we want to go the dangerous way of a war, which I don't think is appropriate now. So there is a battle that we need to use in 2023. But if you ask me, Comrade Lamptey, and even the panelists, do we have people that are viable with minds to change the country in 2023? From where I stand now, I will say the answer is no, because they see the same old rotten eggs that are coming forward. So Nigerians need to collectively come together to think of what to do to save our country from this current situation. The conspiracy will just continue, because if you listen to other state actors that are benefiting from this government, they will tell you that this is the best government they've ever had. Even in the face of dwindling economic situation, even in the face of continuous lamentation, people will still support this government. So you see that we are in a very difficult situation. A friend of ours is in Nigeria currently, and I was discussing, and what did he say? That Nigerians don't even know that they are suffering. So you see the problem. It's a long process that we have to go through. But we must, if we want to save our country, because our country is rich. Our country has everything. Natural, human resources, everything abounds. The federal government has failed us. APC, the Senate, House of Rep and House of Senate, House of Rep and House of Senate, they failed us. Those in power that should resign and save and change the trajectory don't want to do that. Where do we go from here? And this government is in control of all the strategic positions in this country. the Navy, the military, the defense, everything is all under their control.
Do
so it makes.
Do you mean the government, or you simply mean the Fulanis?
Okay, let me use that word aptly. Yes, the Fulanis. They are in total control. And I think what needs to happen, we need to shake that political space so that those that are romancing with this government now, we have a change of heart, because we need to win some of them. According to Hassan Kuka, you cannot bring somebody that is a Rolls-Royce mechanic to come and repair a Toyota. It is still Nigerians that can change the tide if we really choose to, and choose to do the right thing. We have to, because we cannot continue like this. We cannot be in the river and yet we cannot drink water. So the government is a conspirator. Conspiracy is their watchword, and they are 100%. Everything that's happening in Nigeria now is something that has been taught and conspired, and they just give us the already cooked food. So yes, absolutely, it's 100% conspiracy.
Best Ogumu, we are coming to some points here. In all of this, you know, the Benima says, when water becomes dirty from the source, it therefore means that hunger is going to be the order of the day. And that's what we are getting now from NNPC. And that's what we are getting now from the federal government of Nigeria. The water from the source of the federation or the federal government is dirty from the source. And the person who's responsible for that hair, because the Benima says, which simply means it is the head of an animal, you look for the eye of the animal. Now, looking at this, there is no way to talk about this and try to accommodate Buhari in any way, shape, or form. Some of us have concluded that Buhari is a major problem of whatever is happening in Nigeria today. He must take responsibility for everything, not even one of the things, everything. In the light of this, if you agree with that, what do you think Nigerians need to start doing to rescue this sinking boat of the Nigerian ship, as far as these matters are concerned, economically and, you know, security-wise? Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, Comrade. I want to appreciate what my fellow panelists have been saying. I don't know, I may be one of the few persons that have this thinking that Buhari is not in charge. I don't know, I have it somewhere. It's always playing in my head that Buhari is not in charge, that Buhari doesn't know what is happening. There's, like we said before, like Victor said, like Austin said, there's a cabal. It is this particular cabal that is this cabal is handling the affairs of the country, and they are deliberately doing these things to the nation.
Okay, Besto, if this is true, what should Nigerians do? Because if Buhari is removed, the cabal will be disorganized. They will no longer be there. Because the cabal, if they are there, they are gathering, okay, under the auspices of Buhari. Now I'm asking, what should we do now as Nigerians to remove Buhari? Because somebody told me that 2023 may not come. And every threat right now should be taken seriously as far as Nigeria is concerned.
Comrade, everything that is happening right now is geared towards 2023. Everything, security-wise, economically, and otherwise, is being geared towards 2023. And the problem that we have now, to rescue us from this problem, there's no way we can remove Buhari right now. If we forcefully do that, there will be a lot of problems. I don't know, I'm just speaking from this layman's view that if there's any military intervention, there will be a problem. Because these men have been able to fix themselves in very strategic positions. So it will be very difficult. They know what they are doing.
So invariably, what you are saying is that we have to be patient and strategize towards 2023.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I must tell you, Comrade, if that move is not already on by now, we have more problems after 2023. I am not seeing the moves now to make sure that these particular persons, these very few persons, do not handle the affairs after 2023. We should begin to strategize now. There are some persons that we were expecting them to take some actions, but they're already romancing with these men. They're already romancing with these persons, and so it's going to be very difficult. Nigerians we must hold on to all the only thing we have, and we must protect it. When the elections come, we will say no. We must protect it. We must hold it. I remember what happened in Edo State. I'm telling you, if all Nigerians told what happened in Edo State in the last elections in Edo State, Nigeria would be a better place. Because the Edo people already knew what was happening, and the Edo people were strategizing. They were just waiting for when to release the bomb, and that's exactly what they did. So I expect Nigerians to be doing that now. There should be meetings, there should be some conferences where people, first of all, there has to be a lot of sensitization. We have to do that because a lot of Nigerians are still seeing it. What we go do? Nothing. When we go fit do, and that is a major problem. And these men, they know that that's what Nigerians always say. What we go fit do? What do we?
Mr. Best, by implication, it is exactly what you yourself have done. You know, you have said we cannot do anything, and somebody on Facebook is asking us right now, does it mean that the National Assembly cannot rescue Nigeria by simply impeaching the president? But I will not ask you to come on, sir. Just hold on there, Mr. Best.
Sorry, I didn't say we can't do anything. Sorry, I didn't say we can't do it. But I said we are not already doing something now. If we want to take that line, hold that line now. Every area. By the way, how many of us knows our councillors? How many of us have called our councillors to question them on what they do? I'm just starting from there. How many of us have called our chairman, local government chairman, to ask them what are they doing? What do you have for this local government? How many of us have called our members of the House of Rep to ask them? How many members of the House of Rep has come to their constituencies to say, let's have meetings, let's talk about what we have here so that I can take it over to the House? How many of them? It behoves on us as Nigerians, as those that have voted these men, whether at the councillorship level, at the constituency level, at the senatorial district level, it behoves on us to call these men to order. That is the problem. We just leave them to do whatever they like. That is why I said we are not strategizing yet. We should be getting together now to ask. I said it after the elections, the elections in Edo State. I said, right now, let us start holding our politicians responsible for what they should be doing. Let's start holding them responsible. Look, if we call our councillors, it does not come. There's a way you shake the man, you shake the person. Your councillor is supposed to meet with you. I have met with the councillor of the area I stay in the UK, in Glasgow. I've met him several times. I've gone there. The man comes back. This people comes back to discuss with the people. I have met the man representing Glasgow Southwest or so. I have met him several times. They discuss, they come back to their constituencies so that you discuss issues, and this man goes there, he lobbies, and all these things are done. But we don't do it. I am telling you, the only thing we do is when elections come and the man now comes to the constituency. He has not been there for ages. He comes to the constituency and he gives you a peanut, he goes back. No. Look, your member of the House of Representatives is your representative.
Okay. I think I get the point. Let me quickly turn to Chief Musa Ahmedu. Okay. Paul Obayi on Facebook just said that the National Assembly cannot rescue Nigerians because they are all under the control of the Fulani cabals. Chief Musa Ahmedu, of course, Best Ogumu has established, some things here. Can we do anything else, by way of not waiting for 2023, which somebody Moses Dokbolo, is it Moses Dokbolo? Steve Osarai, and some others expressed that 2023 may not come. Is there option or options available to rescue the Nigerian ship just now because of all that is surrounding it right now? Chief, hi Chief Musa Ahmedu. You can unmute yourself, sir. You are muted.
Sorry about that. Our state is not that hopeless if you want to put things right now in Nigeria. What you are getting at is that the National Assembly have lost their credibility to hold the executive to account. When you can't hold the executive to account, then you will not have the moral right to think about recall or impeachment, because both sides, National Assembly, the executive, they're all guilty of the same offense. They've neglected the wish of the majority. And that creates a moral dilemma. Who will cast the first stone? None. And I am not in favor of removing Buhari government before 2023 because of the cost of damage it will do to the polity and the political system. Not too long ago, it all started in 1999, where the governors, they were just the problem. Now it's changing. The governors are embracing development because the process is going on. It's not going to change overnight. Anything to change Buhari government, I personally am not in favor because it will not work, because the people like Dino Milai is not there that can really be proactive in all this. Why aggravate the wound further? But now, in the issue of pulling out of this joke we find ourselves, can you imagine Nigeria complaining about Ghana have been a location called common Twitter? Can you imagine that? It's a joke, you see, and at times discussing Nigeria is also shameful. Can you imagine the country that paid to stone white people in South Africa? The same country people are being killed in South Africa, nobody says anything about it. All I'm saying is that the federal government, we don't want apology. Just make a U-turn and govern this country. 2023, you go in peace. But at the same time, who is fueling their audacity to do what they are doing is the followers who does not read, who does not write, who does not even see anything. They only pay for one channel, which is the Nollywood home movie. That is what they watch. Like you rightly said in Glasgow, at the end of the day, before it gets to Glasgow, it's ratified in Parliament. In Nigeria, with the system in place, you can do that in the National Assembly.
Chief, Chief, sorry to interject. Our people no longer just watch home video. In fact, home video is no longer in vogue. There's what they now call saga. Particularly for the Edo people, that is what they now.
I didn't want to go one step lower because I don't want you to find me, and I don't want my boss to think otherwise. You are my boss, of course. So it's a worrying situation. In England, illiterates, they read the Sun. The educated one, they read the Times. Either way, the same message is going out. But back home, look during election, all the wrong information you were correcting. You'll be worried and say, this part, they're living in Nigeria. The federal problem is that we don't have economy. The oil money is not being accounted for. And there is no sanction for breaking the law. There's no, if there was sanction, things would change. Tell me the sanction of stealing money in Nigeria. None. You get a chieftaincy title, you will get even some village will give you some women for doing the needful. But the reality is that come election tomorrow, people will sell their voters card. And
Chief Musa Ahmedu, somebody's replying to you. He said, Twitter is not common, sir. It is a multi-billion-dollar company. I don't know if you have any response for him.
Yes, I think Moses is saying it from the angle of valuation. But Nigeria, a big country, should not be begging for Twitter to come to Nigeria. But if the infrastructures were there, Twitter will naturally go to Nigeria without blinking because of the economic power, the volume. Nigeria is keeping MTN afloat because of the volume. So my reply to Moses is that I'm not trying to trivialize Twitter as a product. I'm trying to trivialize the decision of Nigerians to even complain, including the government, that why should Twitter go to Ghana? Because the infrastructure is there. So they should give us infrastructure in Nigeria and big companies will come to Nigeria. That is the bottom line. Twitter is by no means, they employ thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, but they've gone to Ghana and I support them. If they like, let them live in Ghana forever. There is no problem. But we should stop shamelessly be watching our dirty leader in public because there is a leadership deficit that is not addressing the economic situation.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very noble one. That will satisfy, what's it called, Mr. Moses Dukbolo. Of course, I equally have a statement here by Paul Obayi saying when you have a leadership of Senate under Ahmed Lawan and Femi Gbadabiamila, they are all rubber stamp, guys in the National Assembly. Okay, let us bring on a Victor Ediamoya. Victor, Esquire, looking at the submission of High Chief Musa Ahmedu, particularly with the way things are. He himself has said he will not support the idea of impeaching the president or removing the president just now until 2023. If Nigerians relax and strategize towards 2023, from your perspective, do you think 2023 will come?
Yes, the shortest and sincere answer to that is that yes, 2023 will come. 2023 will come as a year. Whether it will come as a year for changing Nigeria government is a different matter entirely, altogether. But let me point you to a certain direction. Removing the president, the procedure for removing the president is contained in section 143 of the Constitution. Constitution 9. The Constitution is, first and foremost, the Constitution is our biggest problem, okay? Because of the way the Constitution has been written, the same way the people of Nigeria is not with the people that wrote that Constitution. We know how that Constitution emerged and how that Constitution became our Constitution in 1999. But however, the procedure for removing the president is there. Okay, that is the only way to remove a democratically elected president if you want to go by way of impeachment. And rightly, the parties that is about loyalty, not about what Nigeria wants. So the party will not vote their president out. So this is a president that has shown a kind of disregard, ethnic bias, tribalism, or whatnot, and nobody has found his conduct reprehensible in the by calling him to House of Assembly. Last time they called him, he said he was not going to answer them. He didn't turn up. So the whole thing is this: once we forget about the process of impeachment, which we are going to take off the table, the next way to remove is during elections. Okay, it's through elections that you can remove a bad government. But here in Nigeria, we have two dominant parties. There's no way anybody can try to say something different, okay? We have two dominant parties. The fight is either between APC and PDP, okay? For the very best that they liked Obaseki so much. If Obaseki has gone to any other party beside PDP, there's a possibility that he wouldn't have won the election. Let us be very frank with ourselves, because you talk about structures in place. So political running elections need to be at the grassroots. You win election from the grassroots. You can only rig where you are popular. I know there's an element of rigging. Nigerians that are serious about changing this government, because two people, one rascal, Rotimi Amechi has said that we are walking on the street. The reason why we are walking freely on the street is because he does throw stone at us and we steal the money, we continue to steal the money. So he said that before. The Ekiti State governor said this again yesterday, that we should go and gather our ORCs and try and vote them out. So it's a challenge on Nigerians. It's a challenge. Somebody is telling you to your face, use your power. If the power is really with the people have the power to remove, a government that is so bad. This is the worst in my entire life. This is the worst government I have seen. Both democratically elected and the military government. This is the worst I've seen in my entire life. So every other person might have a different view, but the truth of the matter is that this government doesn't care about any Nigerian. Okay, there's federal character in the constitution is not respected in appointment. Okay, we said before that most of the government establishments is being run by Fulanis. Fulani is just one tribe. Okay, it's just one tribe. I was an adult after my university that I knew that there's a difference between a Fulani and an Hausa. I always refer to them as a Hausa. But when Buhari came, the demarcation became very glaring. So you are able to tell that this is a Fulani man and this is an Hausa man. So the only way to remove somebody that is so tribalistic and narcissist like somebody like Buhari and his cohort, he is not the one per se that is running the show. Don't forget, because the many people say, what breeds drum for the pigeon? It's inside the ground. You see the pigeon dancing around. Something is beating the drum. So those Kaaba, we should take Nigeria from them, not Buhari, because if whatever they bring again, they will start controlling the person. So what Nigerians can do is this. As our chief said, he said, oh, Nigerians will say their vote when it comes to election. They will say, people are hungry. These people come and they are giving them, I saw one giving pap. So one gave granite and gari in a small sachet and start sharing to people to vote. Some give t-shirts, some give wrappers, some give as small as 2,000. Do you think that anybody want to sell their whole feature for 2,000 naira? So people are hungry, but the only way to get these people out and get them out completely is that we must hijack those political parties that we find these people. Young people should go there, get to this party, run for positions. So don't say, oh, we want to go and form our parties. By the time you are forming 3, 5, or 6 youth party, you are dividing the vote already. So let's go to this party. Anyway, APC is dead as far as I'm concerned in Nigeria. So we can look for other 2 viable, prominent parties and say, let our youth go there, go and register, get your voters card. The way they came out in NSAS, let Nigerians come out like that and go and vote. Your vote is your power. Your vote is your power. Vote a government that is not responsible, the government that is not committed to the cause of Nigeria. Vote them out. Because I cannot say that 2023 will not come, but the only thing I will tell you, 2023 will either make or break Nigeria. That is the only thing I can tell you. 2023 will only either make or break Nigeria. The outcome of the 2023 election is very fundamental. Whether we will still remain as one or whether Nigeria will want to move forward. So there are a lot of people that are in the corridor of power that already saw their hand and have committed a lot of atrocity. I've been seeing their poster somewhere and I'm looking at, this cannot be true, because they themselves have not come out to say, come and vote for us. But the question they've been asking are this not a good couple that will be number 1 and number 2? I say, okay, let's be looking at it. But as far as we are concerned, we must ensure that first, we must vote for somebody that has led an exemplary life. In fact, there has not been politics before. I'm telling you, because none of them, even the House of Assembly that you are talking about, are they corruption free? You are talking about rubber stamp. Yes, they've been rubber stamp, but how many of them have the integrity? For a deputy, is it deputy Senate president, deputy Senate president, or what's it called, that came out, or House of Rep, that came out and said that he cannot entertain a petition from Nigeria in diaspora. You understand? That we are concerned, the tea people that are bringing forex, that is bringing a lot of money back to the country. You are saying that because they are in America, that is the height of ignorance. See, look at the kind of people that are governing us. How big? You say you've been to Harvard. You go to Harvard and pay $5,000 for a course that you are going to do for 6 hours. Somebody like me, by virtue of the position that I'm teaching, I will come and talk there for 30 minutes and go. You'll be claiming that you have gone to Harvard. When you get back to Nigeria, you put it in your CV. That is shameful. That is the beginning. That's the beginning of corruption. Those kind of people need to be questioned. So, in all honesty, it is possible that 2023 will come. 2023, but we don't want 2023 to remain as it is now. But we want 2023 to be a new Nigeria, a beginning of a better Nigeria with somebody, not somebody that is sick or that we forget. I don't know, somebody that is not mathematically is not mathematically savvy, arithmetically savvy, not mathematically, arithmetically savvy to know between 95 and 7%. Or you understand what I mean? So we want somebody that can always remember. We asked him, you said that
somebody without dementia.
Yeah, so I didn't want to say that, but for fear of being sanctioned. But the truth of the matter, yes, we need somebody that can really move Nigeria forward. So that's
thank you very much. We have somebody, Festus Charles. He said restructuring to me is the only way out. The 1999 Constitution, as amended, to me is lacking in so many areas in our present day Nigeria. And now we are talking about the possibility of 2023 coming, hitch-free. If 2023 does come, I want to talk to Austin Iremiran. If 2023 does come, given the way things are we sure we are prepared and ready to be able to change the course of things? Because right now, somebody said, one of the reasons why Issa Patami is still in this government is because Issa Patami, I'm giving you classified information, is heading a department in this government where they are registering massively non-Nigerians, Malians, Nigerians, all those people, Chadians. They are registering them massively right now because of the forthcoming elections, because they want to ensure that power remains with them in the north. And not just in the north, power remains with them in within the enclave of the Fulani. So that even when this uproar in the south, all over Nigeria, we roar, we do this, we do that. At the end of the day, conduct the election where they want the power to remain is where it is going to remain, with the numbers that they are already accumulating. Because according to the source, I cannot independently verify it, okay, but the source has said that INEC and all of that. I mean, just to make it on a lighter note, INEC has released a timetable for 2023 election. Okay, they are working tenaciously to ensure that they increase the number. So there's a lot of importation of non-Nigerians into Nigeria to come and settle in Nigeria, and some of them are being distributed to different states in the country. Okay, they are giving voters what's it called, card. They will be empowered to vote, but they'll be told who to vote for. As a matter of fact, the agenda of power returning to the south, they are working seriously right now to make power remain in the north. Given all of these, if any of these or all of these are true, Austin Iremiran, where would we stand in 2023?
Thank you so much, my brother Lamte. I have thought about this on many different forums and where I've been about all the issues about Nigeria. Remember, our comrade brother, Dr. Tony Agbon, would always say that these guys are 5 steps ahead of us. We are just making our first move. They are already in their 3rd and 4th and 5th move. Why we don't want war as a resolution of our problems? I support what Chief Musa Ahmedu has said. I also support what Comrade Victor Diagboya Esquire has also said. But my worry is on 2 things. Because even this government now, we cannot hold them accountable for their promises. Are we sure by 2023, the one coming will not play us baby here again? That when they get into office, we may not also be able to hold them responsible, because by then they will already have the power. Then the next question, Lanti, if you go ahead to form another political party, do you think, given Nigeria's situation, that party will be matured enough and have structures on ground to win 2023? The answer is almost no. Then another question is, what then should we do to dismantle this rogue constitution of 1999? Because, Lamte, if this constitution is dismantled, whether Patami goes to Mali, goes to Kenya, goes to Ivory Coast, and indeed Argentina to get more members, it will not make any meaning, because we will not be operating the 1999 constitution. We will be operating a constitution that will now prepare for ourselves, that reflects true federalism. Remember, it is because we are operating the presidential system that gives power to the president. So, for example, if we really operate true federalism, it will not matter the population that the North has got, because they will only contribute a certain number to the center. So we need to think of what we can do to help change this constitution. But sadly enough, the people in government now will not even welcome that. It's not on the table. So it would then mean, according to Victor, that we should go back to these two big political parties. APC will still remain, although they will be succumbed because of their present situation. So obviously the only option then might not be the People's Democratic Party and maybe ABGA, because we need structures. So maybe that 2023 will not take us, like I always say with Obaseki, that will not take us to the promised land, it will lead us. Maybe 2023 may just set the road for us to begin to think of a successful and a prosperous Nigeria in the future. So really, Lamte, it is very difficult. From the standpoint of what I see now, I don't see any hope because of what Nigeria and Nigerians are. In the last election, there were 5 parties that featured young people. To my greatest surprise, if you put the entire vote together for those 5 parties with young people, they were not up to 1 million.
No, not it.
So that clearly answers, Comrade Victor and I Chief has already answered that. So if we take that route, it will be another problem. But within the short space of time, how do we permeate these big parties? How do we? And Victor also said that we should not get anybody that has stated politics before. That comes to the issue of finance. If I choose to run today, I don't have the wherewithal financially. And these people have all the finances. To get a form in a party for presidency, you have to pay millions and millions of naira. And who are you sure you are going to even get that nomination? So the road is quite difficult. We need to look inward, my brother.
Best Ogumu, a very direct one to you, sir. The truth of the matter is this, and this is very clear. We are not going to shy away from it. While we are complaining, the agents of doom are already planning how they will grab power in 2023. It therefore means that at the end of the day, they will hold sway. What they plan for because of the financial muscle and all the structures they have will never come to pass. Of course, I agree personally with Diagmo Yaweli. He stated that there is no need to form new political parties. As a matter of fact, I believe strongly that all these small parties, YPP, what's it called, Oshoware's party, they should all come together and join one of the big parties and float their ambition in one of the big parties, and let us see if that can come. That is if that becomes the way it should be. However, Best Ogumu, do you think that secession is the way forward, as many people clamor right now, that there is a need for us to just make everybody just go their own? Maybe that will be more peaceful for all of us, because from what we see, this government is not talking about restructuring. They are not talking about true federalism. They are not talking about anything that Nigerians are yearning for. And if this is not happen, the status quo is likely to remain. Even if Buhari dies, and many Nigerians are praying for that. Okay? Well, I am not praying for that. Let God's will be done. But even if Buhari is no longer there today, okay, it is likely very possible that the same agenda of Buhari will still continue, right there. Now, Best Ogumu, do you think that secession may just be the way forward? What is your opinion on that?
It would have been an alternative But how do you come about it? Issues like this are issues that are supposed to be discussed. Everybody sits at a round table. We have representatives from various places, and these things are discussed. But from the way it is now, nobody in the Senate is ready to discuss anything like that. Even your own, even the guy representing you and I in that place, none of them are ready to discuss it, because most of these things are done there in the National Assembly. Because the other way of carrying it out is a very difficult way. It's a very terrible way. We remember what happened before, when a particular side wanted to go away and they resorted to this war and everything. It's the same thing that we are still saying. These persons have been able to plant themselves in various places. It will be very difficult. Even our own people that are supposed to, do something about it, on how to get everything settled, are the ones that are even going there to bow before these other guys. That's what is happening. So secession this period is going to be very difficult, except if one side succeeds. That's when another one can go. But who's going to start it? Who will bear the cat? And another way, okay, let me just chip this one in. Another way that is possible is when one side is talking about it, another side is talking about it, so that you have this pressure. But are we really matching those pressures? There should be pressure groups. And nobody is talking about it.
But sir, do you agree that that is a possible way forward in this whole scenario?
Of course. I agree with it.
Chief Amedu, Beth agrees that secession may be a way forward given the uncertainties that we have across board, as far as Nigeria is concerned, security, economy, and everything. Sir, what is your take on the issue of secession?
Secession.
Hi, Chief Amedu, sir.
There is a better solution to secession and federalism. You see, when you are not in government, you have all the solutions. When you are in government, the art of balancing will put you in a position where you have to think deep. Right now, you have federalism as a system of governance in Nigeria. And the issue emanating from the operating of that system is that it's lopsided, meaning the man there is a full animal putting his people there. Now, if you want to resolve that problem, you could try regionalism, where each section produce what they have and pay to the center. In Nigeria, that is not going to happen. Two, you could leave that all together and say, okay, increase the cost of doing business to each state and let them only borrow when they actually have a business proposal that will employ the local people. There are so many ways to go around it. Secession is an archaic word. Nigerians are too enlightened to think along that line. Now, there's another problem brewing in Nigeria. They are selling their own mineral resources directly to buyers. The Niger Delta are restricted. They are inhaling pollution on a daily basis. Nothing is happening. How do you resolve that? These are issues you deal with in governance, and that is why we need to diversify the pool of people to choose from to run a good government. I don't believe in secession because, as far as I'm concerned, if I have my way, I would like to reclaim all those land that sit there to all those people you call whatever you call them, because the world ahead of us is futuristic. It's based on the ability to have consumer, and that consumer must be managed very well. And I think secession cannot be a solution. What will be a solution is to recognize who is an Edo man and recognize who is an Ijaw man, and equity will just come to play. Thank you.
Mr. Jeboya, secession, is it a way forward?
Succession is not a way forward. The right answer to the question is people have a right for people have a right, they are entitled for to self-determination, okay, if they want to live. So I'm not talking about just break away, but it should be done in the right form and process. But I don't see that happening, okay? Before the unholy marriage of the North and Southern Protectorate, there have been nations among the Nigerian country. To say we operate a federalism is not entirely correct, okay? We don't operate a true federalism, because when you say states are federating, then states must be autonomous, okay? States must have their own police, they must have their own, they generate their own money and pay to the national government. What we have is a kind of unitary system where everybody runs to the center and you share money for each of the states. The way forward, like our chief suggested, that it's not feasible. It could be feasible. It depends on what Nigeria wants. Regionalism can work, okay? So many states are not capable of being states. Let's not deceive ourselves, because if you start deceiving ourselves because of this sharing formula, if we say today all states we have autonomy, go and generate money, we see that so many states will be bankrupt.
Victor,
yes.
So many states are not capable of being states. Can you name one or two of those states and why they are not capable of being states?
Yes, so I can name states that are not capable of being states, like Benin Kirby, what's it called? Gongola and Yola, they can be big in mass, but they are not capable of being individual states. You can look at the insurrection that has been there, in those Northeast, they have not been able to fight it. Okay, you go to North Castina, what's the other smaller state? You see these states have local government like 40-something, and you see the allocation that are coming to them. Don't forget, before 1991 or something like that, we had only 19 states in Nigeria. We have 5 regions before. We have the Northern region, we have the Midwestern region, we have the Eastern region, and we have the Western region. So it's all in all these, they've carved out of the Northern region, they carved about 14 or so states out. Then Eastern region, they've carved about 8 states out. It's only Midwestern region that has remained 2 states, okay? So if they are sharing allocation to this state, it's the amount of money that you get that comes to your state. Edo and Delta can be one region. It can be one state. We can have the Midwest state back, okay? We can have the Western states back. Apart from Lagos, all other states in the West are struggling. We have to be honest to ourselves. So if you say...
So what you are saying, if I get it rightly, is that even the state's creation is all politicized to ensure that they collect money from the federation account and push to themselves.
Obviously now, why must you, it's politicized, isn't it? Even data that was created, you created data and took capital to Asaba. With all due respect to my people who are from that axis, it's all about politics, because your wife happen to come from one region. So this state creation, they want an enormous state. You want a few states to emanate from few local governments. How much are these states generating? Is it not the cause of the problem why we are discussing now, when NPC is saying that we can no longer, or we are not able to remit this amount of money back to the state? The states are not going to have money to finance their budget, to pay workers. So what are the states generating? Apart from the 6 states that are the oil producing states, yeah? So that is the money we are expecting NPC to share, isn't it? For all the 36 states. So the minerals from the north, Zamfara, they are selling it. But look at the minerals law in Nigeria. The mineral belongs to the federal government. How can government just monopolize all these things? So it's only federal government that can do things on the exclusive list. So by the end of the day, you see that the way the country is being planned, not until we change the status quo, we cannot move. We cannot move. There's no way forward for Nigeria. The only way forward is autonomy. All states must be autonomous. States have to have their own autonomy. If you go to Edo State now, you say, Edo State, I give you autonomy. We know we have oil.
Okay,
we are using rubber.
Victor, I just want to cut in there, okay? Because it's getting interesting right now, though we are going to run off very soon. I want to cut in here. if you look at it right now, there's agitation for, more regional autonomy as far as, that discourse is concerned. Now, without the federal government making any statement so far, different states or regions, they have begun to try to set up their own security apparatus. Yes. We have the Amoteku in the Western region. We have had the ESN by, separationists in the Kano in the Eastern region. But now, the Eastern region have come together to form their Ebubeagu, okay, as their own regional, police, as it were. We are still waiting for the South to have their own formation, though Edo State is investing heavily, supporting their vigilante to complement the effort of the police. This is without the federal government making any statement. Individual states and regions are beginning to take these matters into their hands to begin to fight for their own destinies. Is it not possible, too, for individual states to begin to take charge of their economy, independent of Nigeria? If they can start taking charge of their own security apparatus right now, why can't they just add their own economy right now? Which means let the Niger Delta people stop the oil from flowing to Abuja and begin to take charge of their own matter, since we don't have any leadership. Can that play out now?
Yeah, with all due respect, we do have a figurehead leadership. So it's not that we don't have leadership. So we have a leader somewhere, okay? A leader that knows nothing about what is going on. So there's somebody somewhere.
In the spirit of not knowing what is going on, yes, can't we begin now to take charge?
But for the Amatakun you are talking about, the minister, what's it called? Minister Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, challenged them initially. Okay, it's not a question of the state just saying this oil belongs to us. There are laws in this. There are laws in Nigeria that govern who owns what belongs to the federal government. The best the governors can do is to speak to those who are in the House of Assembly and convince them, National Assembly, and say we want autonomy. They've done it before. The National, the National Congress that was done in 2012. They came. They have a template how we can move this country forward. That has not been acted upon. There are a lot of things. So you cannot just say, oh, the oil in Niger Delta is not going to flow. Don't forget Saruwiwa when he granted, when he stated that shares and the Ogoni, when they said that shares is the personal no grantor in the Ogoni land. What happened? It will be a threat to the federal government. So you cannot just wake up and say, we are taking our oil. If we have that right, we'll take it. But it's not possible. So the only thing that is possible is that we must begin to face reality. This structure in the country is not going to work. It will not lead us anywhere. Bring Jesus, bring Muhammad, and bring whoever. I'm talking about Jesus Christ of Nazareth and Prophet Muhammad. The two strong religious body bring their leader to this present structure that we have in Nigeria, they will still fail.
Okay, let me go to Iremiran quickly. Comrade Iremiran, I want to quickly ask you, taking it from where Idiamoya stopped. He said this structure cannot work, and that it will be like we are challenging the federal government. Is the federal government scared of challenge? I mean, look at Boko Haram. They are seizing territories and putting their flag on the ground. In Niger State, they've taken over several local governments. The same with Bauchi State. The same with everywhere all around in the northern region and all of that. They've challenged the federal government and nothing is happening. Can't the states in Nigeria, particularly the South Divide, begin to take their destinies in their hand now that we have a federal government that is displaying high level of ineptitude, a federal government that is not present, a president that many believe is dead, we hope is alive? Can the state begin to act?
Thank you so much, Comrade Lamptey. Just to let you know, like Victor posited, we have a federal government. It's just that they are acting one way. Let me also tell you, Boko Haram and the terrorists are not taking any part of Nigeria. They are just doing the bidding of the current government. So let them not deceive us. Remember, Abacha once said, any act of vandalism and insurgence that lasts more than 24 hours has the backing of the federal government. So I am not moved again by news that, oh, Boko Haram are taking territories. I don't think so. The federal government is allowing them because they are in bed together. They are allowing this to happen because they have a game plan, which by way of whether posterity or divine intervention is likely not going to see the light of day, because we now know their plans. You understand? So I'm not going to be moved anymore to say that these people are taking our territory. They are taking our territory because the government of the day, led by President Muhammad Buhari, wants them and allows them to continue to take it. Like Victor said, if our Niger Delta boys decide to stop the oil flow, the might of our military, which is still strong, although succumb at the moment, will be moved in full throttle to go to the Niger Delta to crush and dismantle them. So it comes back again to that act of restructure and what we want to do. Remember, it is lack of political will to do the right thing that is leading us to where we are now. Because there's a political will at the moment in the country, but that political will is doing the wrong thing. So until we have a political will that is willing to do the right thing and is futuristic, we may just be where we are. That is why sectionalism, any form of anything you talk about, we still come back again because we have an existing state. You asked me just now, can the state not exist? They can only exist only on their IGRO. The 1999 Constitution restricts me and you. Obaseki cannot totally control security in Edo State. He has to go back to the federal government. I wept this week when the governor of, I think, Ebonyi State was saying that he called the presidency 13 times to release security men to control an insurgency in his state. Lante, is that not laughable? In the modern day United Kingdom, Nicola Sturgeon will call Boris Johnson to release military in Edinburgh. That's not possible. So you see where we are. We are not even operating a unitary system. We are operating a powerful unitary system where only one man is in control. What concerns the president with the appointment of a vice chancellor in the university?
I think that can best be put, if it's possible, a one-man-tree system.
Thank you. So, Lante, let us leave leadership and come to education. It is the president that appoints vice chancellors in every country in Nigeria. So that office is too powerful. And that is the reason why nobody can rise against it except there is a movement. So he's got all the good things we want, impeachment, secessionists, everything, that's right. But with the way those people that configured our country has done it, it is going to be very, very difficult. 1999 Constitution must be dismantled. Nigerians must be ready to do the right thing. That's the only way we can go. And just to also add, is an advice to all our governors now, because if this NNPC thing becomes a reality like Mr. Ogumu posited, many states will be in trouble, and the fulanization of the country will be a reality because they now have the power, the money, and the instrument of government.
Very shortly, because we are coming to the end of this broadcast right now. Best Ogumu, we don't do our broadcast without narrowing things down to Edo State, where positively we are all from, all the panelists. Best Ogumu, looking at the way things are right now, first, I want to give kudos to the governor of Edo State. He's managing things all right, particularly the area of security. Edo State is largely settled. The initiative of the governor, paid off, particularly when we look back at about 2-3 months ago. The security situation in Edo State was really bad, and it was a matter of concern for so many Edo people. And of course, the governor of Edo State did swing into action, did a lot of things, many of which we cannot talk about. But I think the whole idea was that Edo people came out, volunteered, to be part of, the what's it called, the vigilante system and all of that. And a lot went into that. Edo people, both home and in diaspora, supported the program. support is still ongoing. Of course, right here in Europe, we have the Edo Security Interactive Forum, headed by one of us who is right here, Chief Musa Ahmedu, and of course, a huge initiative too from concerned Edo citizens in the North America. All of this playing role to ensure that the home front is fortified. And we give kudos to the governor for the way he has been able to manage things and keep Edo State fortified. I want to say that Edo State, the home front still need, quite a lot of support from Edos all across the world to ensure that we keep our home front fortified so that we will not be, of course, ravaged, by the marauding, powers of the headsmen, all over Nigeria. Having said that, Best Ogumu, looking at the economic doom that is being propounded just now by NNPC, economic doom that the NNPC wants us to prepare for, what do you think that Edo State can do independently to survive, not getting anything from the federation account by way of allocation? Just a few minutes, Best Ogumu.
Let me start from here. Already those that have been around at the center has not helped at all. Otherwise, I am very sure that if we already have these structures on the ground in Edo State, with what the government is doing, things would have been better than this. I am sure even those of us in the diaspora would have been able to draw investors to the state if those structures were already on the ground. I can tell you today, if not for the efforts of the governor, now they suffer the worst blackout password for Nigeria. If not for the efforts of this governor. I remember there was a time he asked the woman in charge of BDC to get her from the office because he was angry with what the woman was doing, But all the same, I think the Edos are gradually entering into small scale businesses now, even those in the diaspora. I know of those that are gradually opening up. These things will open up Edo State. We know what small scale businesses do in the diaspora, in the developed world. In fact, I'm sure, I don't know, that is the major call of the economy of the developed world. This micro, I don't know how to call it, small scale businesses.
SMEs. And
so we will continue to hammer on this. And the Edo State government should continue with what it's doing now, because I'm aware there are a lot of persons that want to set up some businesses. The governor is always ready. He will always discuss how to, realize these initiatives. And so the governor must redouble his efforts now. Because like I said before, with what is happening now, like High Chief said, NNPC has no right to say we won't remit money. No matter how small it is, they're supposed to remit it. But I'm seeing them fighting from that center to starve states. That's what I'm saying. Our governor must redouble his efforts now. If we say let us increase, would I call it taxes or whatever, it will still fall back on our people and it will be too much on them. But the small IGRO that we are doing, we should be able to manage these ones very well and encourage those that want to set up businesses. The government can help. Government doesn't really manage businesses. What they do is they give enabling environments for businesses to thrive. It's just that we have a government that is not moving. Banks are not doing anything in Nigeria. Like what they are doing in diaspora. Banks are not doing anything. You have a great initiative, a very fine idea, great initiative for business, and no bank will give you anything.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me quickly move from
appeal to our governor to redouble his efforts, do meetings, and everything will go on very well.
Yes, you've been able to establish that the government needs to encourage, SME, small and medium scale investment as far as Edo State is concerned, improve on, taxes and all of that. Hachi Musa Amedu, quickly coming to you, sir, because we are running out of time. What should Edo State do now if really we probably will not be getting remittances from NNPC and that will affect allocation to Edo State? What should Edo State government start doing to fill up the gap and still be able to pay salaries and keep the state afloat? Hachi.
I think it would be nice if I bring you up to speed. Edo State have this developmental program that will push Edo State forward than we ever imagined in the area of a business setup, you name it. But they need to set up the new administration, which I'm confident will happen latest in June. There will be a new administration. When that sets off, then we now know the direction they are going. But I know Agric is very, very high on their table. I also know the SME you talk about is also being taken care of. But I think we just need to allow the new government to form physically and other things will fall into place. And the light issue might just be expanded as well. There's so many things Edo State have now that they did not dare to think about before. With the proactiveness of Obaseki and Philip Shaibu, I'm very confident we're in the right direction. And I would say, let's revisit this topic next month. Thank you.
Yes, let me quickly go to my brother, Victor Idiaboya Esquire. Victor, same question to you. If, this is on the condition, if truly the threat of the NNPC that there will be no remittances to the federal government, fact, is so that begin to affect states by way of allocation to the extent that states can no longer pay salaries, as it were. What do you think, should be the proactive measures by the Edo State government to ensure that Edo State is able to pay salaries and Edo State is able to still run afloat, irrespective of whether allocation comes from the federal government or not? Victor Diaboya.
Yes, the question, if it's an hypothetical question, so there will be no need to belabor the points there. But the main focus is that the federal government is under obligation to remit money to Edo State. Okay.
That's the case.
Yes. So, but the way forward, what we want to do henceforth is to see Obaseki increase what he has already started, diversifying the economy. You understand? Edo State as it is a lot better. We have fertile ground. Agriculture should be a priority. It will create employment for youth. Government should also ensure that they put money to support micro, small, and medium businesses. So those can also improve the life of people in Edo State. So it is still boiled down to the government of the state what they would do. But between this period of NNPC saying we are not going to remit money and the time that they will not be able to pay salary is just too short for the government to carry out any meaningful project or policy. And also, let's not also forget that Obaseki has not constituted the new state executive, which obviously, according to ITIF, is going to be done within the next few months. So once that has been put in place, the focus will be diversifying the economy. We should not always be reliant on what the federal government is going to bring, but let's go back to agriculture. Agriculture is a good way to boost the economy.
Thank you very much, Victor Diaboya. And lastly, I want to call on my brother, Austin Remira, on the same question subject. Austin, just in case this is true, what should the government of Edo State do or start doing to ensure that we're able to weather the storm?
Thank you so very much. I think yourself and the other panelists have already given useful suggestions. I don't want to mention that again. I just want to say one thing. I hope Obaseki is listening and is also listening to the political situation around the country. I think one of the things is Edo should set an example. Thank God he has not formed his cabinet, it's just by coincidence, but we should reduce the people in government, because that again carries huge amount of money. So reduce them, reduce the commissioners, reduce all the things that we don't need, and in many SSA and PAs, and divert those money to other areas, agriculture and everything. Let's have a very small, affordable cabinet that will still deliver. After all the permanent secretaries and the workers in the State have all been trained. So I think the governor should be circumspect of this.
Circumspect. Very good. Thank you so very much. So Nigerians and Edo people all across the world, it's been a Comrade show, the Comrade and Friends. And of course, we've been able to try to look at these issues all around. Coming down with zero the matters down to Edo State, where, you know, of course, favorably we are all from. Those are the members of the panel here. And of course, you know, they say that, you know, charity must begin at home. And so we came home to try to look at, you know, how Edo State should weather the storm. Of course, I want to equally announce that we've not had our brother, you know, Comrade Dr. Tony Agbons with us on this particular program. Of course, Agbons is very busy somewhere on behalf of the Comrade Show as well, and of course on behalf of the dope people, and we are glad to announce that by the grace of God, next week is going to be with us. Having said that, just to add my voice to, of course, the submission of High Chief Musa Ahmedu over the issue of, you know, cabinet formation by the Edo State government. I want to assure us, based on what we are hearing, that it is very, very likely that in a matter of weeks, you know, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, if what we are hearing is anything to go by, the governor of Edo State would form his cabinet and to be running in full swing. Probably not even going to get to June, you know, in this May, it is very likely. But if it escapes that, definitely it's not going to be beyond June. But we are hearing very, you know, from very strong sources that it's going to happen very, very soon, which means that what, you know, often say that this delay may actually be a blessing in disguise, because what is happening right now is happening to, of course, make the governor, you know, able to decide what to do, particularly looking at a bleak, you know, economic future for the Nigerian state, one which himself, you know, did raise the alarm, you know, much earlier and all of that. We are hoping, you know, I know this caller is calling because of this particular program, and we are just coming to the end of this program right now, and so I may not be able to take this call. And I want to say a very big thank you to all of those that have joined us. Please, if you are watching the Comrade Show, please share the broadcast, click follow on the Comrade Show, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, click the notification button so you'll be the first, you know, to know when we are online. And again, I want to register this very importantly. I've received some calls and I want to say it online. I don't know how many people I want to respond to individually. People have called me to say, oh, many of you will understand what I'm talking about. Oh, there's this saga going on. Why are you guys in the Comrade Show not trying to mediate? Why are you guys not doing this? Why are you guys not doing that? I've established this over and again, that from the Comrade Show, we don't do saga. Everybody on social media is on social media for different reasons. We are here to bring to the attention of the world what is happening in Nigeria, to bring to the attention of the world what is happening in Edo State, and of course, most importantly, to talk about, you know, what we should do to make Edo State a better place for all of us. It is the major reason why we come on this show. So the whole issue of saga, we don't do saga. We are not really interested in it. You understand what I'm saying? It's not our thing. You understand what I'm saying? And so that is why we don't meddle into it. We don't want to be drawn into it. We don't have the strength for it. We don't have the experience for it. But we are very glad to engage anybody on matters that have to do with Nigeria and, of course, Edo State development. We are into that. We remain into that. So anything that has to do with people talking about this and that, we believe those things, as far as this platform is concerned, they are infinitesimal, you know, to, you know, the general needs of Edo people and Nigerians. That's why we don't do that. So don't bother about us. Don't give me a ring. Don't disturb us about what's not being involved. We won't be involved. We can't be involved. We never will be involved. And so that is how that matter is. And by the grace of God, the Comrade Show, the Comrade and Friends will come your way again. As my brother will always say, a Comrade Austin Remira, that is our Sunday tonic. So we'll come your way again next Sunday. But before then, hopefully, hard talk, hard gist will be coming your way in a matter of days from now. And of course, continuously, we'll keep on doing what we are doing. And let's not forget, I want to use this minute to congratulate High Chief Musa Ahmedu and his family for a Nobel Award from the Prime Minister of UK, which the wife received on behalf of the humanitarian organization set up by Mrs. Musa Ahmedu. Hi, Chief. On that note, would you just say, you know, a parting word to the people? You can unmute yourself, sir.
Comrade, you've been one presenter, you've been one broadcaster that supports us. God can only enrich you. My wife winning the Light Award from the Prime Minister was a double shock. Number one, we've never heard of a Black person winning that award in a way we did. And if at all, it's not from Edo State. And that makes a lot of difference. Your support have never wavered. We always appreciate you and your family and Edo people as well. My position is that we should change Edo State and restore it to where we left it when we went to school overseas. That is possible. And you've set a record none of us can break anymore. There is solar light in Benin today. Our street is no longer dark. There's no secret about all these things. It's a thing we didn't do, not because we didn't know what to do, because we sheepishly followed the wrong people calling themselves leader. And that yoke you broke in the last election. I would say to Edo people, thank you very much. Support Obaseki, because without Obaseki, our futuristic leadership will be question marked. But having said that, without Obaseki, there will be no 2023, 2024. So please, let's come together and work for the betterment of Edo people. We have humanitarian organization here. We also have it in Edo State, 187 Sapler Road, opposite the Domino Pizza. The whole of that floor belongs to us. We are helping Edo people in more ways than one. During the pandemic, we supported Edo people. None of them bought African food. None of them have difficulty. We brought in white people to supervise that process for transparency and qualitative distribution. That has worked. And I think the Comrade Show is doing what no organization, EBS included, has done before for Edo State. And anytime I said to you, I don't have no in my diary. I was supposed to go and play golf when you called. I said no. And the councillors, they are coming together to say thank you to us for the job we are doing. I said to my wife, go and do that one. Comrade Show cannot escape me. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. Thank you for supporting us. We are very grateful. Members of this panel, thank you very much. We know each other one-on-one. I will remain a Benin person. Don't panic about that. We'll be fine. Thank you.
That's High Chief Musa Ahmedu, the man of words, and a very humble man. Thank you so much, sir. We are very humbled and honored. And of course, we are ready and willing to work with you all the way. Thank you so much for being part of this process. Of course, I equally have my brother, Victor Idiagmoya, right in the house. Victor, the people want to hear your voice just on a parting note for now. Hopefully, we're going to bring you back again and again and again. Victor Idiagmoya, you can unmute yourself, sir. Just on a parting note.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for having me, my comrade Latin Oriaki, and all the panelists. Thank you for your contributions. And to everybody that tune in and watch the show, thank you very much for listening. We hope we'll have a better Nigeria someday, sometime. So let us not just lose hope. We can actually make a difference, but let the difference begin with us. So the difference must be positive, not the change that they promised us in 2014 or the change that they promised in 2019, but a change for a better Nigeria where everybody be proud and happy to be Nigerians. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And of course, I equally have my brother, Best Ogumo. I'm sure he's got having a technical glitch, or he may have left because he did tell me that he was having some very important engagement at about 7 o'clock. He may have left, and disengaged for that. Of course, lastly, I have my brother, Austin Iremiran. He knows the drill. Austin, the people want to hear your voice. On a party note.
Thank you so much, my brother Lamte. I've thoroughly enjoyed today's discussion, although we have stayed a bit longer. For our viewers, we say thank you so much for always being there. You are the reason why we come here every day. My special appreciation to High Chief Musa Ahmedu, Mr. Best Ogumo, and our indefatigable brother, Victor Idiagboya. I must also say that words are not enough to continue to encourage and thank Comrade Lamte. He had a serious incident in the family this week. I was thinking we were going to cancel all shows, but he still went ahead and he has produced everything. Thank you so much, my brother. Our viewers, thank you so much. Enjoy your week, and we'll meet again on Sunday.
Thank you very much, Austin. As we did talk family incidents, make anybody not going to think one kind. It's not really, not making nothing maybe I get, it's nothing to think too much about. My young son had some operation because he had some accident in school. And so it was a tense moment for myself and my family because the guy had to go into surgery and all of that, but everything is successful. And we are happy, we are glad, but the show must go on. That's why we have to still find the strength to be here. Of course, because of you guys, you know, our audience members, our viewers, we are thankful to you. It's a COMRADE show. Believe me, the encouragement we get from everybody who's supporting us is massive, is huge. And we are strengthened, we are grateful. We will continue to be here until those states become a much better place for all of us. We continue to be here. And hopefully, Nigeria will be a much better place for all of us. My name is Comrade Lamte Oriahi. It's been the Comrade and Friends. And I want to say thank you very much for being part of this program. Bye for now.